Josh the driving instructor here, and today we are looking at how to start a manual car. Now we're really looking at the absolute basics of this, almost what you'd expect in your first driving lesson essentially. So if you've already been driving a manual car, this is not the video for you, so get yourselves off. However, if this is your first time looking inside a manual car or you've got driving lessons coming up, this is the right video for you. It's also very good if you want to train with parents or if you want to start doing some learning in your own car. This is a good way to start to get you in a safe area and in a safe frame of mind. Now, hopefully I will cover everything you need to start driving a manual car. However, feel free to get it in the comments below or join the Discord, whatever works for you. And again, if you get any value from this, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. So in this video, we're going to have an overview of everything inside the car that we need to know to get this car moving safely. This is also going to include how to go into first gear. So first of all, quick overview of what we've got in the car. What do we need to know? First of all, we have the steering wheel. To full lock the steering wheel, it's 1.5 turns in every car. So if you ever lose where your steering wheel is, just turn it full lock and then it's 1.5 turns back to straight. This left stick here on the wheel is actually the indicators. If I'd like to turn left, I would indicate left by pressing it down. If I'd like to go right, I'd pull it up. When you go somewhere like a corner or a roundabout, with the wheel turning, this should click the indicator off. But if it doesn't go off, don't panic, just turn it off yourself. This here is called the parking brake or the handbrake. It is used when the car is actually parked. Now, the difference between the foot brake and the handbrake is the foot brake can be used to control how much we need to slow down. The handbrake, however, will just lock the back wheels up. That's why we only use the handbrake or the parking brake when we've actually stopped the car. This means we can get out the car and the car won't roll backwards or forwards. We could also use this when we're on a hill or stopped for a long period of time. So here we have the pedals. Your leftmost pedal is called the clutch. Your central pedal is the brake and your right pedal is the accelerator. Driving instructors normally call the accelerator the gas just because it's so much faster to say. Now, if we need the car to speed up to accelerate more, we would press the gas with our right foot. If we need the car to slow down, we'd use our right foot again to gently press the brake. If we needed to change gear or stop the car, we'd use our left foot for the clutch. When we use the clutch, we generally put the clutch all the way down to the ground. This will disconnect the wheels from the engine. Put simply, this allows the engine to continue turning without turning the wheels, which allows us to stop without stalling. When we want to put it into gear, we also need to press the clutch fully down. Now, if you have a look at the gear stick over here, we've got lines on the gear stick. The lines actually indicate where the gear stick can actually move. So as you can see here, we have a horizontal line. So if I fully press the clutch down, I should be able to move that left and right with the horizontal line. Now we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and reverse in my car. Now to get to the 1, there is a 90-degree angle. So that's what we have to follow. So the easiest way to change gear is use the side of your hand, and that way you won't end up going diagonally. If I push the gear stick as far away from myself as I can, when it won't continue anymore, I then move it up into first gear. Now, there is no strength required at all to change gear. It is purely technique. If I try and push the gear stick diagonally, I'll end up possibly in the wrong gear. Like there, I've gone into third. It may also just get stuck. If it gets stuck, this is because you've tried to go in a diagonal angle and the gear stick just doesn't like it. If this happens, just let go and try again following the lines. Now, when we do this, it's really important that we try and do this without ever looking at the gear stick, because if you're looking at the gear stick, you will not be looking at the road. And if you're not looking at the road, you won't feel safe at all. Now, when you first get into your car or anyone else's car, you'll need to do the cockpit drill, but I'm not covering that here. So you can either check out my video in the link above or have a look elsewhere. Once the cockpit drill is done, we need to make sure that we're in neutral and make sure that the handbrake is still on. Now, in some cars, you're going to need to put the clutch down in order to start it. In my car, you don't. We're then going to need to turn the key. Now, when you turn the key, you need to turn it twice. The first time you turn the key, it'll just turn the ignition on. This will just turn the electrics on in the car. So if you've got any lights or radio or anything else that requires any electric, this will start coming on then. In order to turn the car engine on, you have to fully turn the car until it will not turn anymore. You're going to want to hold it there as well. If it's a new car like mine, it doesn't matter if you hold it, it won't continue to try and start. It'll just make sure the car's started. You can then let go of the key and the car will stay on. If you're unsure if the car engine's on, just have a listen. You should be able to hear that hum in the background. Now, to get the car ready to drive, first of all, we need to put that clutch fully down to the floor. We then need to push the gear stick to the left till it won't go anymore, following the line, and gently push it up into first gear. Now, if we lift this clutch up too fast, we're going to stall the car. So it's really important that we don't. So at this point, all we're doing is we're going to get the bite. And this is the point where the clutch is engaging the wheels and the engine together. So I'm going to slowly raise this clutch until I can hear the car humming. Did you hear that? We'll do it one more time. Raising the clutch, and there we go. The hum of the engine just slightly changes. Now I'm going to hold that clutch there, and it's a very sensitive amount. It's about halfway up on the clutch. Now this varies depending on car to car, so don't be surprised if yours is quite different. When I'm confident I've got the bite, I'm then going to press the gas slightly, revving the car to about 1.5 revs. Again, now I can hear that hum. That's the sound you want to get used to. That's not a bad sound, that's a good sound, and this is what's going to stop you stalling. Once you've got that 1,500 revs, you're then going to want to have a good look around the car to make sure it's clear. If there's anyone to signal for, pop a signal on, and then you're going to want to gently put the handbrake down. Now your handbrake has teeth. This means when it's down, if you pull it up, it catches on a tooth each time and locks it, so it won't push back down. It does mean, however, in order to put it down, you need to make sure that you press the button in fully. Hold that button in until the handbrake goes all the way down. If you don't put the handbrake all the way down, a light will come on the dash, which will show you that the handbrake's still on and remind you to take it off. Now, when you release the handbrake, you need to pull the parking brake up ever so slightly in order to release the teeth to be able to press the button all the way in. Then you hold the button all the way in and release the handbrake to the floor. Now I've got the bite and I'm giving it some gas, revving to around 1,500 revs. I've made sure it's clear and I'm going to pop a signal on. I'm releasing the parking brake and the car's going to gently move forward. Now it's really important at this point that I'm looking ahead as far down the road as I can. My peripheral vision will see anything close by, and if I stare at the curb, I will end up driving into the curb. Next, we need to stop the car. Now at 5 miles per hour, all I need to really do is touch the brake, thickness of a pound, and then put the clutch all the way down to the floor. If you're on a driving lesson, your driving instructor may ask you to pull over. What they actually mean is just gently stop the car. Don't turn the wheel. Because if you're already in a position where you're fairly close to the curb, you're going to end up driving into the curb. As long as a car can get past on your right, this is the only important thing. Now let's have a quick look at this all in one. We pop it into first gear by moving the stick to the left and up. We get the bite by raising the clutch till we find the biting point. We touch the gas to rev to about 1,500 revs to stop us from stalling. We have a quick look around the car to make sure it's clear. We pop a right signal on if there's anyone to signal for, and we put the handbrake all the way down to the floor. We then raise the clutch up, thickness of a pound, to allow the car to start moving. We look ahead and keep that wheel nice and straight so we don't go into the curb. We continue to raise the clutch until the rev count stops bouncing, which will take about 3 seconds. We turn the signal back off and we continue down the road. When we're ready to stop, we touch the brake and we put the clutch straight down to the floor. We then pull the handbrake once we've completely stopped and put the car into neutral. If we're ready and we're parked and we're ready to get out, we turn the car off. That's it for today's video of how to drive a manual car. If it's helped you at all, make sure you like and subscribe and you'll see what's coming next. Good luck in your driving journey and I will see you all again soon.